Don't Stop Roger Now is just an interlude in Constantinople. Next on Crown Jewels. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of PLD Projects Presents Crown Jewels. I'm your host, PLD, and this is the podcast where I'm taking on a journey through the entirety of the Queen catalog and all the solo records, as well as we try to determine what is the greatest or crown jewel version of each song in that catalog. I'll give you some notes, I'll give you some quotes, and we also see if it slides to my top 10 related Queen tracks of all time, which I'm thinking of maybe expanding and doing not just top 10 Queen tracks of all time, but maybe the top 10 solo tracks, or maybe even more specific, the top 10 Roger Taylor tracks, top 10 Freddie Mercury tracks, top 10 Brian May tracks. I don't know. We're going to get there. We haven't had much opportunity to worry about that at this point, but no, we are starting to get into the solo projects, so maybe that's going to be the next decision I'll have to make. But this week's episode, Interlude in Constantinople. Interesting title for an interesting song. Now, we're going to listen to this song and we're going to talk about it. But how are we going to listen to it? Well, we're actually not going to listen to it. You're going to listen to it. When I tell you to, you're going to pause me. You're going to look at the show notes. You're going to click on that link for the Google Doc. You'll click from there. You can get a link to a YouTube version of whatever version we're going to listen to. And unfortunately, there's only one version this week. So that ruins suspense, right? We already know what the crown jewel is. The crown jewel is the album version. That's the only version. Well, we're still going to be completists. We're going to listen to it all anyway. All right, so let's get right into it. I'll give you some notes first. Written by Roger Taylor, features Roger on vocals, guitars, bass, drums, and keyboards, and features David Richards on additional keyboards. This song was never performed live. However, it was used as a taped introduction to the 1998 Electric Fire Tour. Interesting enough, so basically Roger didn't perform it live. They basically played this over the PA as Roger was kind of getting ready to start his first song. It was kind of like the intro song in a way. So it was an interesting choice for sure, but as you're going to find out. But let's listen to it. It's an interlude. It's a quick song. Pause me, find a link, and then we'll come back for more. And there you have it, my friends. There you have it. Weird song, little 2-minute interlude as it is. Weird starting off like a Flash Gordon soundtrack a little bit with that droney synth that actually really sounds at home at the Flash Gordon soundtrack. I wouldn't be surprised if this like started off as a Flash Gordon era track that he was working on and decided to not use and cut off and decided to put it somewhere else. Get a little bottle breaking, some door slamming, walking, like there's some kind of crowd. I don't know what's going on there necessarily. And then the crowd, all of a sudden, they open the door and this big crowd sounds. And about 45 seconds in, we get the drum start. And this sweet little synth riff. I do love this little synth riff. You know, it's kind of funny. I mentioned this before. Well, it's not like exactly the same. I keep getting reminded of the Tri-Lam rap in Revenge of the Nerds, that talent shows that they did. And it starts off with like Poindexter doing the violin, like the electric violin, which kind of sounds synthy. It actually sounds similar, not the same, but it does reminiscent of this track. I kind of wonder, like that came out a few years later, if these guys possibly weren't Roger Taylor fans when they wrote that track. I don't know. Has a nice little robotic voice with some interesting lyrics talking about hoping all the dope will make you clap at all the crap you've been sold. It's just kind of a nice little beat, nice little synthy, like I said, drony synth, and then a nice little synth riff. And then it cuts off before it even begins doing anything else, and the door slams and they walk away, because that's all it is. We're not doing a concert, we're not doing a song, it's just an interlude. I don't know, man. I kind of dig it, though. I got to be honest with you. It's kind of a little fun piece. It's not something you'd put on, but it's nice to have like in the middle of the album. It's kind of a nice little, I keep saying the title. It is an interlude. It's exactly what it is. But that's it. It's the crown jewel also because that's the only version we have. But how the more important thing at this point then is, what do I rate the track on a scale of 1 to 11? Because we always turn things up to 11 here on PLD Projects. I want to give this I mean, it's hard to rate this because, I mean, again, it's not a full song. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, but it's not exactly like something I'd want to rate high, like alongside some of the higher rated tracks. So I'll give it a solid 6. Solid 6. It's probably more fun than a 6, but it's also not enough to be more than a 6. I mean, that's a little bit generous even. I probably should give like a 5.5, like the Flash Gordon stuff I gave. But I do like this. I kind of like it. I mean, Roger likes it enough to begin the album or rather begin the live show with it in 1998, the tape version of it to get you in the mood with the drum beats and everything else. So you know what? I am comfortable with giving it a 6. And that's going to do it for this week's episode. Stay tuned next week. We have 2 more tracks in the Fun in Space album, Airheads and Fun in Space. Next week's track, The Rocker, Airheads. If you do like this stuff, hit like, subscribe, leave some comments what you think about this track. You can join our membership pages on either YouTube on this one or my PLD Project's main channel, which is more movie and TV related. I do a Patreon, patreon.com/PLD Projects, where these all go up early, so you can hear them maybe as far in advance as a month, depending on how far in advance I am. As soon as I record them, I usually put them up, and I dole them out to the main channel, the main members, or rather the main public, I should say, as we get to it. But yeah, if you can't help that way, I completely understand. I completely understand. Just do what you can. Really do appreciate you guys all. And yeah, stay tuned. Like I said, next week, Airheads. We're closing out on the Fun in Space album. And then after that, we'll get into probably the most controversial Queen album, definitely the most divisive Queen album, and that's the Hot Space album. Queen goes disco. Not really, but that's what the reputation is, and there's definitely some dancey stuff on there to talk about, but some good tracks as well. So stick with us. All right, we'll see you next time here on Crown and Jewels. Stay safe.